Planning a trip to Tasmania, but not sure how long you need or even when to go? Here's what most travelers don't realize. Tasmania's climate is not tropical like mainland Australia. It's cooler, great for hiking, but only if you get the timing right. In this video, I'll show you exactly when to visit, how to get around and where to go. Plus, how to fit Tasmania into your overall Australia travel plan. So let's get started. So here is what catches most international travelers off guard about Tasmania. The best travel season for Tasmania is during the summer between October and April. So this is completely different to the northern and central Australia areas where you actually want to visit during the winter season or the dry season, so May to October. Tasmania's climate is much more moderate, similar to New Zealand, with a lot more rain than other parts of Australia. Now, most travelers visit Tasmania for the outdoor activities, especially hiking. The eastern side of Tasmania has stunning beaches and a warmer, drier environment. The western side is generally more rugged and lush with ancient rainforests. So depending on what you want to experience, this will make a difference in your planning. But here's what's important. If you're combining Tasmania with other parts of Australia, you need to understand these climate differences. More on that topic shortly. Now let's talk about how to actually get around Tasmania. The best way to travel to Tasmania is by flying into Hobart. From there on, start getting around either by hiring a rental car or a motorhome. Both have their pros and cons. With a rental car, the narrow roads in Tasmania are easier to navigate. You can use accommodations as a base to explore key regions with day trips like staying at the Cradle Mountains and doing hiking trips in the national park. With a motorhome or camper van, you have much more flexibility, but traveling is often slower and you rely on motor camps in the key regions you visit. For short-term stays like 4 to 5 days, it's best to base yourself in key locations such as Hobart and do day tours with local operators with no driving needed. And here's something you really need to know. Public transport in Tasmania is very limited, so you really do need your own wheels or book organized tours. See some recommended trips I've done personally around the Hobart area in the description box below. Now back to the climate and the seasons. This is where many travelers make a critical planning mistake. The key issue to be aware of is the different climate compared to other parts of Australia. If you want to combine Tasmania with the far north, such as the Great Barrier Reef or the outback, you need to know that while Tasmania has the best weather for hiking and the outdoors between December and March, this is actually the worst time for the northern Australia regions. It's their rainy and cyclone season. But the sweet spot are the months of October, November and April, May, when you could visit both Tasmania and other parts of Australia, such as the Great Barrier Reef or Uluru Ayers Rock. Otherwise, you could combine Tasmania with Melbourne, the Great Ocean Road, Adelaide and Kangaroo Island. Basically, stick to the southern regions of Australia during the hottest months of the year, which is the summer season between December and March. Alright, let's get into the actual itineraries now. First up, the short trip options. With only 4 nights and 3 full days, you have 2 main options. Option 1 is to stay 4 nights in Hobart and do day tours to Bruny Island, Port Arthur or the French Peninsula, or just 1 full day to explore the many sites around Hobart. This really works well if you want a more relaxed pace and don't want to change accommodations. Option 2, if you're keen on hiking, you could have 2 nights in Hobart and then head over to the Cradle Mountains for another 2 nights. This gives you time to experience Tasmania's most famous hiking region, but be aware the Cradle Mountain area is about 4 to 5 hours drive from Hobart. So my recommendation for a short trip to Tasmania is to choose according to your interests. So if it's coastal and history, stay in Hobart. For hiking, add the Cradle Mountain. If you find this video helpful, please hit the subscribe button below to stay in touch for more helpful travel videos to come. Also, please tick the like button below as it helps our channel to grow. Thank you. Now, here's where it's getting really interesting. With 14 nights and 13 full days, you can do the complete Tasmania circuit. So here is the breakdown. 2 nights in Hobart, 2 nights Frenchnet, 2 nights St. Helens or Launceston, 2 nights in Stanley, 2 nights Cradle Mountains, 2 nights in Strahan, and the last 2 nights back to Hobart. But if you're keen on having an additional hiking day, then just add that into the Cradle Mountains, or you could add another day anywhere else and have only the last night in Hobart. So let me walk you through this itinerary in detail so you understand what each section offers. So here we got a map for Tasmania. Most travelers would fly into Hobart, which is here in the southern part from Sydney or Melbourne. I'll quickly go through this itinerary. I also will link that Google map in the description box below. So the first couple of nights stay in Hobart. Hobart is a great base to either explore local art, the Mount Wellington area, the Salamanca market on the Saturday, but also what I really prefer also is to do the day tours over to Bruny Island. So we've got Bruny Island down here, and to Port Arthur, which is a historic site, which is both about 2.5 hours away. So this is a great base for a day trip. So on day 3, pick up your rental car or your motorhome and then go up to Frenchnet National Park and have a couple of nights here. It's a beautiful site. Is the eastern part, as mentioned before, of Tasmania. It's quite calm, it's lovely, there are lots of beaches, but this obviously Frenchnet National Park has stunning sights, and I'll put some pictures in here as well. You have to expect about 3 hours time, as mentioned before. You always have to add a little bit of time with Google Maps. So then the next day, day number 5, you would move up either to St. Helens, which is a lovely spot. We've stayed here for a few nights last year and it was just gorgeous. It's beautiful beaches, very white sand, and it's just a really beautiful place to check out the local environment, go into the village, etc., etc. So that is a great spot. I really love that. We also stayed in Launceston. Obviously, Launceston is a bigger place, and it's a good place for a couple of nights to actually explore the local vineyards and arts and crafts in this area. So that's another 2 nights. So then moving up to something totally different. So this is our favorite place in Tasmania, Stanley. It's a glorious little fishing village. You can get really beautiful fresh fish here and use it as a base to explore that northwestern area of Tasmania. It's very remote. We went right down to 𝗬𝗏𝗏 River. We did the loop here, went back to Stanley in a whole day trip. So the next one here, as you can see, there's lots of forests, there's lots of wilderness areas. Apparently only about 500,000 people living on Tasmania. So the next stop would be Cradle Mountains, and Cradle Mountains, obviously, this is very famous for hiking. So you would head in there, have at least a couple of nights. There are some cool walks. I mean, there are lots of dedicated videos on that, but you can easily walk for 2 or 3 hours around the lake and spend even another extra night if you're keen on hiking. So that's that, and then you move over for another couple of nights to Strahan. We really loved that area. It's very kind of rugged. It's like the west coast of New Zealand. They have quite a bit of high sea, and that west coast is really, really rugged. I mean, they have huge waves coming in when we've been there. So there's also a famous cruise going into historic sites here in that Macquarie Harbour area. You can also do a historic railway thing, and there's been lots of logging, tree logging happening over the last 100 to 200 years. So that's what this area is all about. So then make your way back towards Hobart. As mentioned before, distances here in Tasmania can easily be underestimated. So that drive between Strahan and Hobart, you need to calculate at least 4.5 hours, especially if you want to have picture stops in between. That southwestern area of Tasmania, this is a huge national park and there's basically nobody living here. So this is the road connection back to Hobart, and that would be a really lovely trip for 2 weeks, going 2 nights Hobart, 2 nights either St Helens or Launceston, 2 nights Stanley, 2 nights or 3 nights in the Cradle Mountains, then have another 2 nights in Strahan and back to Hobart for the last night or 2 nights, whatever you want, and then fly out again out of Hobart back to Melbourne or to Sydney. Now, before we wrap up this video, here are some crucial planning tips for Tasmania. Accommodation bookings. First, if you're traveling between December and March, book your accommodation at least 6 months in advance. Tasmania is popular with Australian domestic travelers during the summer season, and places like Frenchniad and Cradle Mountains fill up very fast. Driving distances. Secondly, don't underestimate driving times. Tasmania's roads are often narrow and winding. Add 10 to 15% to Google Maps estimates and plan for photo stops because the scenery is just incredible. Wildlife considerations. Thirdly, be very careful driving at dawn and dusk. Wallabies and wombats are active at those times, and hitting one can seriously damage your car and injure the animal. If you see one on the road, slow right down. Weather preparations. Fourthly, Tasmania's weather is changeable. Even in summer, you should pack warm layers and rain gear. It's absolutely true that you can experience 4 seasons in one day in Tasmania. So you have it, proven itinerary options for Tasmania, whether you have 4 days or 2 weeks. By the way, you might want to know another nature paradise that pairs beautifully with Tasmania, Kangaroo Island. Check out my video up here for the complete guide on that nature paradise. Thanks very much for watching, folks. See you in the next video.